Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a very fun and exciting video to do for you guys. And so today I'm going to be doing a demo and then kind of first impression, but not really because I've already worn these things, but basically mostly a demo on the new Morphe Fluidity foundation, but like the whole range. So today I'm going to be showing you the foundation, the concealer, the primer, and the powder, as well as the new sponge, and then the brushes that come out with this collection. So it's pretty much the full collection, or it is the full collection. I'm going to be showing you how the foundation looks, how it applies, the kind of coverage you get, and just kind of give you an idea of what kind of look you can get with your skin with this line. So yeah, I'm really excited to show you guys. I was able to try this like 2 months ago, and when we did our training, and when I first started with the brand, and yeah, so I like knew about it, and it was really exciting to find out that they were actually coming out with a foundation, and especially like since you guys have probably seen like 60 colors, like you know, 31 colors of concealer. There's so many shade options, and they go so light to so dark, but then also so many in-betweens. Each shade range, so it's like 1 through 5, each shade range has 12 colors in each shade range. So it's not just like, you know, 40 white colors and then like 10 or 15 medium colors and then just like 5 dark colors, you know? It's literally like a full spectrum. Like when you guys see the actual shade spectrum and breakdown of every color, you are going to be shook. Like there's so much variation, and there's so many undertones like olive, golden, pink, neutral. There's like 4 different undertones, and then like mixes of those undertones, like, and it's just like there's so many different color options. So it's cool in the sense that I feel like really anyone is going to be able to find like a good color in this foundation. So yeah, like I said, today I'm just going to do a demo using the line so you guys can see again how it performs. But before I get into that, I just want to tell you what else I have on my face as of right now, so in case you're wondering. So on my eyes today, I used the Morphe 35V palette, which is this guy right here. It's the one that was the Ulta exclusive, but now it's carried at Morphe stores and like Morphe online and stuff. And, oh, I just dipped in the black. I used these 3 shades here, these 3 mattes. And then I also used the black. Yeah. So these are on my inner corner. This is on my lid, and then also to pop a little extra in the inner corner, I use the new Stila, this is one of the Glitter and Glow, I think. Stila, no, it's just liquid eyeshadow, and the shade Mystere. It's the, whatever, the Mystere kind of weird colors they just came out with. And this one's called Spiritual, and it's like it looks white, but it's like a yellow gold shimmer. So I just layered that on top of the inner corner just for a little extra fun. And then on my lashes, I use the Morphe premium lashes in the style Posh, which are very like a fluffy lash. And then I think that's it. Oh, and then my brows, I used my usual favorite brow product, which is the MAC Shape and Shade Brow Tint in the shade Taupe. Alright guys, so let's just get right in and put this stuff on our face, because that's what you want to do. So I'm starting out with a primer. I have the Revitalizer primer, which is the more hydrating primer. It comes in a tube like this. I'm just going to compare it to the size of the foundation tube. So it's a little smaller. You get 20 milliliters of the primer. And like I said, this one is the more hydrating one. So on the box, here we go, it says, it blurs and softens imperfections, instantly makes skin feel moisturized, and it's free of oils and parabens. So that is what we're doing. So here we go. It's got like a little squeezy tube. I'm not going to take too much, just like pea-sized amount basically. And then I'm just going to focus that in the center of my face, especially around my nose, because my nose tends to like show the most like texture and dryness. But I am also going to put just a little extra right here in the center of my forehead, because my forehead's been a little dry lately as well. So that it kind of basically feels like the description says. It feels very like hydrating and moisturizing. It pretty much feels like you're putting a moisturizer on, but it's got a little bit of that, I don't know, that pore smoothing. You know, pore smoothing primers have that feeling to them. It's got a little bit of that feeling to it as well. And then the feel, kind of once it sets down, is it's not like tacky in the sense of being like extra sticky, but it's definitely still a little tacky. So it kind of makes it feel like whatever you put on is gonna like stick to it, you know? Okay, so next I am going to go in with the foundation. So this is the foundation bottle. It is 1 ounce or 30 milliliters like most foundations are. This is what the box looks like. The top has like the color and like a little swatch on the top. All right, and the claims on this are 24-hour long wear, sweat-proof, sweat-proof, transfer resistant, water resistant, free of oils, fragrance, and parabens, good for all skin types. So, I am now gonna take this. I didn't bring myself a dish. Okay, we're gonna work off this. So I got the color 2.5. Looking back, I think I went a little bit too dark. We kind of just like picked and I guessed. So it'll be fine. It'll all be fine. We'll make it work. So for the brush, with this collection, they are relaunching some of like the brush that, you know, works. It's like a brush that's like their most popular brush, but it also is like a brush that they recommend with the foundation, which is the M439. But then they're also doing this sponge, and this is like a new style of sponge. It's like flat on the bottom. It's like a little bullet kind of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do half my face with this brush and half with the sponge so you can see the difference. So I'm just going to pick up some of the foundation. And what I learned with this foundation when we were playing with it and kind of testing it was it is so full coverage. So use way less than you normally would with a foundation, if that makes sense. Now, like I said, this color I think is going to be a little wrong because I think I went too dark, but I'm going to make it work. So just, you know, pretend like this is totally my right color. So I'm just going to go in with this brush and a little bit of the foundation. And I'm going to start stamping that all over. Like I said, this is definitely too dark, but it's fine. We'll make it work. So I only put a little bit on the brush. So as you can see, it is like extremely full coverage. So I had zits and bumps and like red marks over here, and just one light layer does cover everything. And then I'm gonna really pull it down my neck and on my ears so I don't look like I have jaundice and I look crazy. Okay, so that is the coverage you're gonna get. Now I will say, like, it doesn't feel heavy. Like, for the amount of coverage you get, the texture is very like lightweight. It's very like thin. It is like a matte finish, kind of like a soft matte, I guess, is how they described it. So it's not gonna give you any kind of glow, but it's not like, I guess, overly dry looking. I don't know. So that is kind of what you're gonna get if you use the brush. And when I use this brush, as you can see, I do like to stipple, and then I blend like this down my neck. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with the sponge, and I did already wet it. And we're gonna do the other side with sponge. I've never used this with a sponge yet, so I'm interested to see how it looks. So this sponge has a, like I said, a flat side and a pointed side. So I like the flat side for like getting like the surfaces because it's, you know, it's flat. So you can really kind of lay a lot of like ground down. I don't know if that makes sense. Like you can get in a lot of surface area, I guess, at one time. But I definitely feel like I need to go in with the point to go like in these areas. It's like around my nose, in between my brows. Now when I did my eyes, I used the Morphe concealer as my eyeshadow base. So that's why you see I already have a little bit of like a brightness around my eyes, and why I already had something like in between my eyebrows is because it was the concealer already that I used as my eyeshadow base. So that's why that's already kind of down in those areas. So now let's zoom in a little bit here. So as you can see with the sponge side, it's more, I would say, like a medium to full coverage, because I can still see like this little red dot I have here, and some of these other things I can still see them. So I'm actually going to go back with the M439 brush with the tiniest little bit extra, and then just dab that over those areas to get like complete full coverage, because that's what I want. And I also like the brush because I feel like I can really buff the product like down my neck and everything, so that I know it like really is blended in and everything matches. Okay, so in terms of my natural skin texture, you guys know I've talked about this a million times. My nose is like terrible texture all the time, and actually that whole weird texture thing is now going to my forehead recently, which is just, it's amazing. I'm so excited about it. So in terms of this foundation and like texture and anything like that, I don't feel like it makes it worse by any means. Like if I compare it to other foundations, my texture looks kind of the same as it does with other foundations. So it's not necessarily that this foundation is gonna like smooth out texture. But to me, in my opinion, trying it and like using it a couple times, it doesn't make it worse, at least for me, if that makes sense. But yeah, as you can see, everything's very like full, flawless coverage. So if you're the kind of person that you're concerned about making sure everything is very like flawless and covered, this is definitely going to get you there where you want to be. So now I'm going to do my concealer. Let me zoom it out a little bit. So I'm going to do the concealer now. So I have the shade C1.35. And again, so there's 31 colors of this. You get, what is it? Oh, let me do the math real quick. I think it's 6 colors in every single shade range. So again, there's even colors for every different shade range, 1 through 5. And then there's 31 because there's one extra and it's white. So there's one extra white concealer for like mixing and doing extra stuff, or like for cut creases, like whatever you want to use the white for, or for those people that are like really white and actually need like straight up white concealer to use as the regular concealer. So I'm gonna put this under my eye. Now, like I said, I already had some because I used it as my eyeshadow base, so there was already some a little bit under my eye. So I'm not gonna go like all the way up to my eyeshadow. And the reason I do my concealer as my eyeshadow base and then underneath and then kind of blend it out is so at this point in time, because I like to do my eyes first, when I go in with my concealer, I don't need to go all the way up, you know, to my lower lash line. So that way I'm not gonna mess up the eyeshadow that I already did. So this has a little flat paddle brush, which I really love in a concealer. Don't know why. And I'm just going to use this to apply this all over here. And it comes with this brush. This is like a new brush, I believe, that they came out with. I can't remember if this was new or not. I'm not sure. That they came out with this launch for the concealer. I would use this more so for spot concealing on like spots. I don't like this small kind of brush for doing under eye or anything like that. So I'm just going to use this sponge to blend this in. So I'm using the bullet side now to blend in the concealer. And the concealer, so since the foundation's like a soft matte, I would say the concealer feels, in my opinion, just a little more hydrating than the foundation. I still wouldn't say it's dewy by any means or like extra hydrating by any means, but just sort of in comparison to the foundation, it's just a little more creamy. But it is also very good coverage. Oh, I should probably read the box. I suck at these kind of things. I always forget to do everything. So now I feel like my face actually looks a little more balanced now that I brought some brightness back to my skin. I feel like I look less like my foundation's too dark. Okay, so this says for the concealer, instant full-on concealing power, blendable multitasking formula, free of fragrance and parabens. And that is one thing I do really love about these face products is there's no fragrance added. I will never understand why companies put fragrance in like foundations and skin products. Like, why? It's like, I don't even know. I feel like it never even smells that great. And then you just feel like you have like this, you sprayed perfume on your face and it's just the worst. And obviously is more akin to causing like reactions and stuff. So I'm glad they didn't do that. Okay, so here's the concealer on. Let me zoom in again. So as you can see, it did give a very, again, flawless, like very full coverage kind of look to my skin. It blends extremely well into the foundation. So as you can see, we're kind of fading right into the foundation. I don't see lines of demarcation where like the concealer and the foundation stop. It blends in super well, and it blends in really fast too, which I really like, that it's kind of like I don't have to work with it and stuff. So next I'm gonna do the Filter Effect powder, and this comes in 15 colors, and I'm using filter number 2. I believe filter number 1 is white. It's like a white transparent. It's not fully transparent though, so it definitely will be kind of white. And then the powder says buildable, sheer to medium coverage, creamy, lightweight formula, shine free, oil absorbing, and selfie approved, which I'm assuming means it is safe for photography. So this is filter number 2. As you can see, it is really light. So this is like I said, the first color is white. Number 2 is like, it's got a little color to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, again, great for pale people. So it comes with a mirror, and then when you flip it up, it has like a powder puff on the bottom. Okay, I don't like powder puffs, so I'm actually just gonna use the sponge. So since this is number 2, this is actually too light for the rest of my face. So I'm just gonna use it under my eyes a little bit and sort of in the center of my face to powder. And I'm not actually gonna powder the rest of my face because this is more of a matte finish. So I don't necessarily need like a lot of powder everywhere else. So I'm just gonna use the sponge again and take a little bit and then just press it where I have the concealer. I'm not like baking, like I'm not gonna leave this to bake. You guys know I hate baking. I'm just pressing it in with the sponge. Now I will say this powder is very smoothing. There are a lot of powders I really like that give a smooth finish, like the MAC Mineralized powder is one that's one of my favorites for a very smooth finish. And this does that similar thing. I can kind of close up here again. So you can see it mattified really well under the, on top of the concealer, and it almost took away a little bit of the intenseness of the concealer by itself. I feel like the concealer now fades even better into the foundation. But as you can see, it does give a very smooth finish. And when I glide my finger across, it feels very like velvety. It's got a very like velvet finish, which I really like. So I'm just putting a little extra here because I'm just gonna I'm gonna put a little powder here just so when I do my contour and stuff, it blends in really good. And yeah, let's just get to powdering the rest of the face the same way. Alrighty, so we are all powdered, and now I'm just gonna finish the rest of my skin products. So for my bronzer, I'm gonna use the Morphe bronzer in the shade Celebutante, which is my new favorite bronzer ever. It is very neutral, which I love. It's not like orangey. Oh, this color is amazing. And I know Lipstick Nick, actually, this is her favorite bronzer too. So if she likes it, I love it. I'm just going to blend that in around the perimeter. I'm using the Morphe Jaclyn Hill brush JH02 and just going around to bronze. Now the rest of my person is not this tan at all. So today's going to be a long sleeve, long pants day, so that we can pretend that the rest of me is actually this tan, which I am not. For my blush, I'm going to use the JH04 and then the I'm Not Blushing, can't talk. I'm Not Blushing blush from the MAC PatrickStarrr Spring Collection from last year. I just really love this peach color up here, so I'm just using that one. And putting that apple on my cheek and blending it up. And then as always, I blush my chin, my nose, and that's just to make it so my skin color is very cohesive. And then I'm going to highlight, and I'm using the Morphe highlighter in the shade Spark, which is a new favorite of mine. I'm using the JH09. Wait for this. Oh. It's such a pretty color. It's like a nice, not too golden and not too pink. It's like a good balance. Oh, I love this color. All right, I'm gonna set my face really quick and I'm gonna use the Continuous Setting Mist. And that's just gonna give me a little extra like kick of hydration, which I love. And it's gonna really amp up like all my highlights and stuff. And then I'm gonna put on my lip really quick. So for my lip today, I'm gonna go into the Jeffree Star Velour Liquid Lipstick Kit, you know, the nude kit. And this is the Volume 2, his newest one. And I really want to wear Family Jewels. I've been looking at this color for a while. Yeah, I'm gonna wear Family Jewels today. So I've just started wearing like Jeffree Star's liquid lips. Actually so good. And I don't know why I never tried them before, but they're great. Okay guys, so here is the finished look. I hope you liked it. Kind of final consensus here is I do really like this product. So I think it works really well. The primer is something I'm kind of like on the fence about. I'm not a big primer person, so when I wear primer and when I don't wear primer, I don't really notice a difference. So, you know, I definitely think it feels nice, you know, it doesn't have any negative effects to the wear of the foundation or anything like that. I just don't know that I necessarily, you know, notice that it does something groundbreaking, you know. But other people, I know a lot of people like primer, and if you do like a primer, this one does feel really nice, feel really hydrating, and give a nice base to your skin. So if you're someone who does actually like primer and you feel like you notice a difference, you will probably like this. And then the other version of this primer is called Equalizer. This is Revitalizer. And the Equalizer one is just more of a matte finish. So if you want more matte finish, pore smoothing, you want the other one. So next, the foundation. I really do like the foundation. I love the full coverage of it. The finish to me is one I'm generally on the fence about, but it works. So basically what I mean by that is I don't love a matte finish, and you guys have known that before. I hate a very dry matte finish. This is definitely a matte finish. However, you know, in dry foundation I've tried before, like the Fenty foundation, Huda Beauty foundation, those ones looked like caked up nasty mess on my skin. This isn't as dry as those, and as like thick feeling. Huda Beauty foundation, I think I can honestly say it was the worst foundation I've ever tried in my life. Like, it was terrible. This doesn't give you that like heavy, thick, matte feeling like that one does, or like in my opinion the Fenty one does. So it's still a matte, but it's not like the driest matte ever. So that's why I say I'm on the fence, because it's not necessarily the finish I always really love. However, it still works. It doesn't look bad. So that's why I'm kind of like, I actually do like it, you know, because generally I don't like matte foundations. However, this one does still work. Like I said, you don't need a lot. I go on with a little bit. I really love this kind of brush for it. The ways I've tried it with sponges, this brush, I've tried another brush. This has been my favorite brush to put it on with for sure. The concealer is my favorite product out of all of these. I love this concealer so much. As you can see, it works so freaking good for an eyeshadow base. You can see my shadows look amazing. They blend so nice. And under my under eyes look very smooth. They don't look like dry. They don't look crepey, they don't look like wrinkly or anything like that. This has absolutely 100% my favorite product. Like I said, the coverage is great, and I really love the like flat paddle applicator. It's my favorite, new favorite kind of like applicator. And yeah, so number one high list recommendation from this collection. The setting powder works very well. It's definitely very matte. I do feel like it does give a smooth look. I think it's like, I don't know, it's not necessarily like something where I'm like, this is so much better than all the other powders I've tried. I just think it does work really well if you're in the market for like a good kind of semi-transparent setting powder that gives you a matte finish and you want a very smooth look. You really like this a lot. I don't think it's like going to be this earth-shaking, groundbreaking, you know, crazy, but it is good, you know, a good powder. And then like I said, the brush, I think, now that I think about it, I think we do sell this brush. Morphe does sell this brush all the time. Brushes are good. They're always good. I always tend to like those. And I do really like the new sponge. It's a little more squishy than the one that I use. Let's see. This one I use most of the time. It's so gross, sorry. is the really popular one from Morphe that's like the flat top. I love this one. This is a little softer, so when they get wet, this one gets a little more squishy. So if you really like this really squishy feeling, you'll like this. If you want a more medium coverage with the foundation and less like intense of a full coverage, you'll want to do the sponge with it. And I think this does work really well. I think the under the pointy side works great for all the other areas. So I think that's awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, if I could rank these, this is my number 1 for sure. I would say foundation is number 2, powder number 3, primer number 4. But I do think they all work really well. And I think the price point is insane. So foundation is $18, which I think is reasonable for like Morphe's price range, but also compared to like other, you know, high-end products that I've tried that are like, you know, most high-end foundations are in the 40s. I think 18 is a really great price, especially for what you're getting in terms of like the very full coverage and the long wear. Concealer is $9. Like, you're kidding. Like, that's a joke. You need that for sure. Powder is $12, which again, really reasonable. And I believe the primers are $10 or $12. I'm gonna have it all down below because I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure the primer is like $10 and this is $12. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you made it to the end. Please subscribe if you have not yet. And tell me what you think if you're gonna get this. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.